Hi, welcome to my bed and thanks for being here. I'm glad you're listening to me, and I wanted to make a video about the question you might have. Why did you stop making videos? Why did I stop making videos on this channel, really? And to be honest, there's no really good answer, probably. But yeah, maybe to zoom out a bit, I did kind of stop posting videos for the last year or something. I did have some, I don't know, casino unintentional ASMR or something that I uploaded from time to time, but it wasn't really new content, and I didn't really make my ASMR bedtime shows. And I do read the comments, and I did see that some people at least asked for new content, and I did take it seriously, I guess. At the same time, I'm not delusional enough to think that people were eagerly waiting for me to come back because I'm the #1 content creator, which isn't true for the ASMR space, but also isn't true in general at all. So I think I don't take myself too seriously at all, and this channel has always been a hobby of mine and not something that I do with a lot of goal orientation in the sense of monetization or views or recognition or anything else. And but still, I think the question is valid as to why I didn't really post any videos. And I guess if you expect some kind of deep response in the sense of my mental health was terrible, or I had family problems, or I had health problems, or whatever it might be, none of that is really true. Admittedly, I was just working too much. I guess that's the simple reply. I was just working a lot, and I was working on intense projects, I guess. And sometimes I worked 60 hours a week, sometimes 40 hours, but generally speaking, I worked quite a bit. And I just didn't have the mental capacity to really make videos anymore. I guess that's the main reason. When you come home, when you work in an office environment, and then you have to take the train, and for me I have a commute of about 40 minutes. I'm sometimes doing home office, but still after work I'm pretty much drained. There's no more energy left, really, and I really wanted to make videos, at least sometimes, but then on the weekend I also have to do something with my girlfriend. I want to do something with my girlfriend. I was working out a bit more, like 2 or 3 times a week, which I think is a good thing. But then it's kind of like you don't really have a life anymore when you work full time. Then you have a few hobbies still. And then, yeah, the hobby of making these videos kind of fell short, I guess. And I guess the hobby of making videos is still exhausting sometimes, because you gotta think about things to talk about, or you gotta prepare a video. If you make like a classical ASMR video, then you gotta film it. Then there might be something wrong with the audio or the video. Then you gotta put it on your computer. Then you gotta edit it, and then you have to upload it, which sometimes doesn't work. Then there's problems with your editing program. Then YouTube takes a long time to upload it. And then you have to create a thumbnail, and then you have to create a title, and then you have to create a description. I'm not even trying to complain here, but I want to say it is not the most relaxing activity, probably, and I think it's being underestimated how tiresome it can be to just create a video, and sometimes you can't finish it in one day, and then at the end you have like 20 unfinished videos, or maybe 100 started videos but unfinished videos somewhere on your computer. Then you forget about them, and then it becomes kind of like tiresome to even think about it. So yeah, maybe to wrap it up, I guess I just didn't have the energy to make videos because I was too tired, mentally and physically. But then I think, to be very transparent, there's also something else which became apparent to me, which is I just didn't really feel like making videos that much. And this could just be a result of being kind of tired, but it could be something else as well, to be honest, because I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't really feeling ASMR so much recently. It's really hard to say why, but I think it's hard to make ASMR videos with passion and motivation if you don't really enjoy ASMR anymore. And there was a phase in the last months, maybe it's still ongoing to some extent, where I didn't really enjoy ASMR just as a fan, as a listener myself that much. And beforehand I had like at least, I don't know, 15 ASMR creators which I generally enjoyed very much and which I listened to quite a bit. But for some reason I didn't really feel like listening to them anymore. For some reason, watching intentional ASMR videos didn't really do much for me, and it became almost like annoying to some extent. I guess on the one hand there's the aspect that it's repetitive, it's always similar settings and role plays. There's the doctor role plays, there's the hot girl showing her cleavage, there's the like big long nails, there's the mukbang type, then there's like different, I guess there's just a cranial nerve stuff and doctor stuff and the like. So I think maybe at some point you just become kind of tired of it. And so if you're tired of it, it feels kind of cringy to make it yourself. And it becomes pretty hard to make it yourself. Gotta be really honest. And honestly, the only creator in the ASMR space that I keep on watching is it's probably Maddie ASMR. Maddie Tingles, sorry. Not Maddie with a D, but Maddie Tingles. Who, if you don't know him, he's a male ASMR creator from Oregon, I think. I think he might be from Hawaii or something, I'm not exactly sure. But he basically mainly does the main type of role play over and over again, which I kind of like. It's just like, he has these sneaker role plays, he has these flight attendant role plays, like hotel reservation role plays. He has like 10 different types which he does over and over again in a sense, but he does them pretty well, not too overproduced, but and he also has like gaming store role plays which are pretty cool, but not too overproduced. But just for me, I don't know, something about him is just feels pretty good. And I don't know, I've always kind of been more attracted, not sexually, but just in the ASMR sense, to male voices. And so in any case, I never really stopped watching him, but for others, like Ephemeral Rift or Tony Bomboni and so on, but also Gentle Whispering, it kind of just happened that I didn't really watch them anymore, and so I didn't really feel like making videos anymore. And I guess that's also something that's a bit hard to admit. I still love ASMR, and I think I really still love making videos. It's just kind of exhausting, plus kind of being tired of the whole genre. But also I think I didn't really feel like making other videos either. I think another aspect which might have come into play, which might have contributed to me stopping making videos, is that I generally kind of started to dislike the idea of being a content creator more and more. And I think it's a multifaceted issue. It's not like black and white, but I think back in the day when I was a few years younger, I still had more narcissism in me. I never really wanted to see my face in front of the camera and be famous or anything. But now the idea of I don't know, having like posting something every day on Instagram and other channels and on TikTok and YouTube. It's not appealing to me. It's more like annoying to me. I really don't want to have to do that and be like a slave to my content schedule or something. And actually, and this is something you're probably not going to agree with, but I'm still pretty convinced that this is true. Being a content creator is actually really hard. And it's not so much that like making a video and sitting down and editing is super hard, even though I feel like video and image editing is underrated and it's actually pretty tiresome and pretty gruesome if you do it well. But I feel like just the act of, okay, how do I explain this? Most people who try to do the YouTube thing and the content creator thing aren't successful in any way, which I think is not a bad thing. But if they ever wanted to amass views and monetize their channel and become like an influencer, content creator, whatever, 99.9% just don't make it. Like most niches are too competitive, be it gaming or, I don't know, probably even porn. No, I'm just saying ASMR is very crowded, and reaction videos is pretty crowded, and dancing stuff is pretty crowded. So it's really hard because you compete with the entire world. You gotta do something different, and you either have to be really good at what you do or very attractive, which in and of itself does have value. Let's be honest here. Okay. So the problem though is a lot of the people who become successful in YouTube and content creation, they're actually pretty smart, because they don't do what they think will work, but they look at the data, or at the data, as the Australians would say, and they basically see what works and then they do more of it, which is kind of like, who's the biggest YouTuber? Mr. Beast right now. He basically noticed that if he puts numbers in his titles like 100 million, and he does these crazy giveaways which always involve money, where people think, wow, $100,000. He gave away $100,000, that's crazy. And then he has his face doing, oh, or like an attractive girl in his thumbnail, and then the video is pretty boring. That's enough to get 50 million views. Basically, he noticed that this formula works, and he does an iteration of this every time, over and over and over again. And I'm not even trying to diss him. I think he's very smart, actually, if you listen to podcasts with him. I just don't enjoy his videos, first of all. They're not entertaining to me. And second of all, and this is, I think, the more interesting point, I wouldn't even want to be Mr. Beast. I would get super bored by having to make the same video over and over again, doing like a crazy activity where you give away like an island or something. It's just, I mean, even if you don't believe me, just try to go that route. But after doing something, even if it's successful and you make some money, after doing something like 50 times, you kind of don't want to do it again. You kind of get tired of doing the same stuff over and over again. And this is something maybe that's a bit more pronounced for me. But if you look at most content creators, they eventually get to that point where they're kind of bored with what their fans and their audience that they built expects of them. And most content creators who try to pivot their content, it doesn't really work, right? It just, your audience that you built expects something specific from you. And one notable example, I didn't really follow his content too much, but it's PewDiePie, who before Mr. Beast was the biggest content creator. What did he do mostly? He did Let's Plays. He played Minecraft for a while, which was super popular. And then he transitioned more into making reaction videos. And then after a while, I think like a year ago or something, he just stopped making videos because he just didn't enjoy it that much. I think he was pretty transparent about it. Also that he wasn't that happy in general. And I think that's an interesting point, right? Somebody who could almost be a billionaire or something, isn't that happy? How is that possible? But he was also working incredibly hard, pumping out a video every day, and eventually you don't want to make reaction videos anymore. And actually reaction videos are the simplest types of videos because you don't even have to have your own ideas. But eventually you just get tired of it. And actually I find like his transition kind of cool, to be honest. Because he moved to Tokyo or to somewhere in Japan with his wife Marzia, and I think they're now expecting a kid. And he just is like, he does like some travel vlogs now. That's basically what he does, about walking around in Japan. And actually now I kind of like his channel again. What I'm trying to say is, even if you're the most successful YouTuber making millions upon millions every year, you're probably gonna get tired of the content that your fans want to see. And the same goes almost for all artists, right? If you're a musician, you don't want to always play your one hit that people expect. You want to try new stuff. You want to do some, I don't know, alternative stuff. And this is how a lot of bands lost their audiences and their fame. Because they don't want to sell out, so to say. They don't want to always do the same stuff. It just gets boring. And that's the problem why most artists, I feel like, are also unhappy. Because at some point, I mean, most artists are unsuccessful, so those are unhappy. But even those that somehow win the lottery and make it and become successful eventually get tired and bored of the content that works. Okay, long story short, being a content creator kind of sucks. And I wouldn't expect you to try to become one. If you're like a young person or not so young person and you think, oh, making YouTube videos is so easy, I could easily become like a gaming YouTuber or like a, I don't know, stock market YouTuber, a finance YouTuber, a dating YouTuber or whatever, think twice, because eventually you're gonna get tired of it probably. And I wasn't even making that many videos in the ASMR space, but I still kind of got tired of it. And just imagine, I mean, most people who are successful, like in business, they focus on one key area. There's one YouTuber, like YouTube proposed me his video yesterday. He's like a Diablo YouTuber. He made a video about being super depressed and basically hating his life. And honestly, if I had to make a Diablo video every day with a clickbait title, I would hate it too. I wouldn't enjoy myself. And the same kind of goes for anything. Let's say you're like a financial market YouTuber, or even Teddy Baldassar, who's like the watch guy, or even Jeremy Fragrance, who's like the fragrance guy. I would hate having to make the same video over and over again about these are the 10 best fragrances for summer, or Teddy always talking about watches. I guess there at least you have some new watches coming out and he has a store behind it. So I guess it's okay, but still, you're probably gonna get tired of the niche, or the niche, as the Americans would say, that you chose, and of whatever content that your audience expect you to make. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Not that interested. Does that mean I'm super tired myself of ASMR? Actually not. And also, does it mean I'm tired of making videos? Actually not really. I actually would like to make videos again. At least that's what I think now. Let's see what happens if I really can find the motivation to do it. I don't set myself these very specific goals anymore, like I have to make a video every week and write every week and do this every week. I prefer to kind of do it like when I feel like doing it, which at the same time means I might never do it, and I might just very rarely do it. So I guess probably having routines is smarter than just doing something when you feel like doing it. But yeah, I'm gonna see. Whatever. By the way, it's pretty windy outside, and if you hear like my window kind of shaking, it's because of the wind, which is currently really strong here in Zurich. But yeah, what is the future going to look like for me? I think I want to make videos again on this channel too, and also on the other channels. Probably not as often. I think max once a week, probably twice, like every 2 weeks or something, bi-weekly. I haven't fully decided yet, but I do want to make videos again because I do miss parts of it. Actually, most of it. I do enjoy editing videos too, even though it's kind of gruesome, and the whole process just takes so long. And I feel like my PC got kind of slower because I tried to edit like a video, like a GoPro video, and it took like 2 hours or something, and I'm wondering like what the hell is wrong with my computer. I think it got kind of slow or something. But in any case, I guess that's the reason. I guess that's the reason why I stopped making videos, or those are the reasons why I stopped making videos. Being overworked, feeling kind of tired of making videos in general, and kind of tired of the ASMR space. I think if you want to be an ASMR or like a content creator, you've got to find a way to keep it interesting for yourself. You gotta be able to make videos that are fun to yourself as well. And if you pick like a very small area that you always have to talk about again and again, or a small, like if you have to redo the same video over and over again, it's pretty sure that you're gonna get tired of it. You probably know those creators as well, right? You really enjoyed them. Maybe it's somebody who was like a gaming YouTuber or somebody who played Fortnite. Eventually those people are gonna get tired of that game, or that game is just gonna become unpopular. Whatever it might be. But yeah, again, if you don't believe me, try to become a content creator yourself, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna see that it's actually pretty hard. It's not easy at all. Maybe hard is the wrong word, but it's tiresome. And you're probably gonna get tired of it. No, it's actually hard. I think hard is the right word, because once you're even like a little bit tired of making videos, editing everything is just gonna become exponentially harder, and you're just gonna gradually lose motivation. That sounds a bit depressing, right? But it isn't at all, and I'm really glad to be back and making these videos. I'm not even sure if this is gonna be like a really ASMR type video, so I'm talking a bit too fast, I guess. And I think I almost have to relearn making ASMR videos again, because it's been a while since I last made them. And even editing them in Premiere, I looked into it and I was like, how again did I cut it out, and how did I edit the audio? I don't fully remember sometimes, and so almost feels like I have to relearn it. But for me also, I have to say, I have a mind who needs diversity and stimulation in a different sense. I get bored quickly, and this is also why my job currently, where I have to do a lot of different stuff, and is good for me, because many people have the same situation at work, because they always have to do one thing, like writing one paper, talking to the same people, doing this and that, hiring people. And for me, being more in a broader role, it's more interesting because I can do a lot of different things and use different skills, be it presentation or graphic design or other things, which I do enjoy. So yeah, I guess that's my explanation. And I guess if you wanted me to make videos, if you missed my videos, here's my apology to you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry I didn't really do it, or I for sure didn't do it because I didn't think of you, or because I wanted to neglect you. It's just, yeah, I didn't have the energy. So you might be asking, do I have the energy now to make videos? I'm not 100% sure, but I gotta say, like, a very big and intense and time-consuming and energy draining project just ended. And I also kind of decided for myself that I'm not going to work on weekends anymore. I have something a bit wrong in my brain, that I always work a bit too hard, and I want to do stuff really well, which is a me problem. It's not that good. It's not smart, let's just say. It's smart to work well, but then forget about work when you go home. I have a hard time with this. I try to do stuff pretty well, which is good for my employer, but not so good for me because I take the stress back home, but then also I go above and beyond. And in general, in a corporate setting, this will not be rewarded sufficiently, let's just say. This is nothing to be angry about, it's just something you have to remind yourself of. I guess that's a bit cryptic, but all I'm saying is I think it's been very, very interesting for me to learn these lessons, I guess, again, or learn these better and become more stoic when it comes to other people. I think I became better at accepting different people, different ways of thinking, and so on. But still, I think it's important to everybody who listens to this, who works in a corporate setting, to not let it consume you. If you bring your work back home and if you're stressed about it, you're only letting them win, so to say. You're not helping anybody with this. I know it's easier said than done, and that again is also genetic. If you have a hard time clicking off your brain, a lot of these things are also innate and really hard to change. But to me, it helps me to remind myself that it's just not intelligent to ruminate. It sounds really, really dumb, but it's just, I don't help myself and I don't help anybody else. And the better I become at not taking myself and life and work too seriously, the happier and the more peaceful I'm going to be. And I have the tendency to take these things kind of seriously, but I'm getting better and better at taking it more easily and accepting people for what they are. Even if sometimes I have this idea in my head how people should all be motivated and intelligent and sensitive and nice to each other and work hard and be creative and everything. That's just some fantasy which is completely outlandish. So most people want none of that. Most people just want to go home, they want to watch the TV, and that's totally fine. Alright, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to making some videos in the future. Let's see when. I don't want to make any promises. If you have anything that you want to tell me, you can write me a comment or whatever. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your patience. And sorry for everybody